From Lake Geneva, welcome to the GCN show.
From the Audubon Aquarium in New Orleans, USA, welcome to the GCN show.
From Voeren in Belgium, welcome to the GCN show.
Welcome to the GCN show. Coming up this week, race organisers attempt the biggest shake-up in pro cycling for the last 30 years. In Tech of the Week, there is a brand new app from Physique, and we've got loads more ingenious hacks and terrible bodges.
We check out the latest crop of 2017 World Tour team kits. We have a fantastic crime against cycling, and we also raise money for World Bicycle Relief with your help.
What's that about?
You'll see later. Now for something a little bit different. We have been continually impressed by the work that's done by the World Bicycle Relief, to the point that we really feel like we should do our bit. Or more accurately, in fact, for Dan to do his bit, because he's agreed that if we can raise enough money to buy 150 buffalo bikes for students in Africa, he's going to shave his hair off.
I wouldn't describe it as agreed. I would describe it as forced into it a few moments ago when the cameras weren't rolling.
It'll grow back, mate. It's a good cause.
Against my knowledge. All this was agreed. Yeah, 150 bikes. So I've just been looking on the website. A buffalo bike costs £95. It's $118. So a few quick maths. That means that we need to raise, if you want to shave my hair off, £14,250, $17,700, or €16,650.
That's great maths. Now, don't worry, that is an achievable sum. If all of us chip in at just 50 cents, we will easily get there. But then, of course, why stop at the hair? If we get 300 bikes, the beard gets it.
Whoa. That has not been mentioned. I have definitely not agreed to that.
Don't worry, mate. And 500 buffalo bikes, and Dan is going to get waxed from head to toe.
Stop right now. Let's concentrate initially on the first 150 bikes, shall we? Genuinely, we would love to achieve our target, and as Si said, it is quite achievable. And I will sacrifice these lovely locks if we do get to that target. And all you've got to do to donate some money is follow the link, which is in the description down below, and will be on various forms of social media very shortly.
Dan isn't going to get waxed. No one wants to see that, and we don't really want to put you off. But... We've got Caption Competition coming up for you now. Last week's photo was this one of Bradley Wiggins with his Derny rider having a in-depth discussion on the boards of the Ghent 6 Day. We've been through them all the comments, and this one we think is the best. So congratulations to Dario Manfron for... Unfortunately, Wiggo didn't win his Dernier 6 days. We like it. Clever.
Dernier being last in French for you non-French speakers. So a clever play on words there, one that we'd be proud of.
Technically, though, Wiggins did win his Dernier 6 Day.
Yeah, maybe didn't win the Dernier race at the 6 Day. I was there, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
Regardless, Darrow, if you get in touch with us via Facebook and a message with your address, we shall get you our GCN Camelback water bottle off to you in the post ASAP. This week's photo is from the recent Cyclocross World Cup in Zeven in Germany, and it is De Jong, the world champion, with Ellen van Looy, getting things rather wrong in the sandpit.
Go on, mate. Your turn this week. What
Are you ready?
Got for us?
Are you ready? This is definitely not quicksand.
Yay! What can you say? That's a belter.
It is. If you think you can do better, doubt it. Leave your captions in the comment section just down below. And the best that we choose next week will receive one of these.
You should take that, mate, as a prize.
I know.
Quicksand.
Got 20 of them at home now.
Quicksand. We have got two choice bits of tech for you this week. The first is an app from Physique that helps you decide which saddle to buy. Now, if you're not familiar with their spine concept system, it was developed with help from the University of Colorado, and it effectively tells you which of their famous trio of saddles, so the Aliante, the Antares, or the Arione, will suit you the best based on your level of flexibility.
Indeed. So all you've got to do is download the app, which I have already done. Then you hold it up against your chest. So if you would like to demonstrate.
Okay.
right, wait for 3 beeps. That means that it's calibrated in the upright position, at which point you then bend over.
Yep.
As you didn't need to do it in that direction.
What's that, mate?
Bend over as far as you can until the app has done its thing. And then...
Okay, I'm done.
All done?
Yeah.
And then it will be able to tell you through your flexibility which type of saddle and model is the best one for you. And if you input your weight and also some extra numbers which allow them to calculate your power, it will also tell you whether you need a regular or a large version of said model.
Yeah. And surprisingly, despite the view that you've just seen, actually I only need a regular and not a large,
Really?
apparently. Yeah. And I am a snake, which means that, reassuringly, I have to use the same saddle that I already use, which is the Arione. So there we go.
Nice one.
That's quite cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
To be fair though, buying new saddles without trying one out for weeks is a little bit like shooting in the dark. And so anything that tries to make that choice easier and also based on something rational can only be a good thing as far as I'm concerned.
Well, they already had a try before you buy scheme, didn't they, at certain shops, Physique? So I guess that just adds to the ease of choosing your first one to try. Okay, the other thing that Si mentioned that we wanted to talk to you about on Tech of the Week came to our attention when we were looking through Kickstarter's bike-related products. Again, we do that quite regularly.
Yeah, we do.
These are some pedals that seem tailor-made and designed for our very own Matt Stevens because they are magnetic pedals.
Oh yes, using the power of magnets. The Maglock pedal draws your foot to it like a tractor beam, and then 10 powerful magnets lock your foot to it. Now, whether or not you end up picking up bits of scrap metal as you're riding around, or indeed you get stuck to things like drain covers whilst riding, does remain to be seen, although I guess it doesn't because they've already got one reasonably successful pedal on the market. But nevertheless, it'll probably be wise if you keep your garage tidy, just so you don't...
Well, maybe they'll keep the garage tidy for you.
Or like a Hoover.
Yeah. Or maybe, as you're riding along in the outside world, you'll pick up coins and they might pay for themselves eventually.
Imagine that, save money whilst you ride.
Yeah. Some unexpected, big and potentially very exciting news came out in our world of cycling last week, and that was that the big hitting race organisers, ASO, RCS and Cycling Flanders, who organise a lot of races including the Tour de France, the Vuelta, the Giro, Milan-San Remo, the Tour of Flanders and Paris-roubaix, said that they were going to reduce the team sizes at the Grand Tours in 2017 from 9 to 8 and also reduce the team sizes by 1 at the Classics as well, from 8 down to 7.
Their reasoning, they say, was to try and improve riders' safety, very simply by having fewer riders in the peloton. But then they also point out, as an added bonus, it should make the racing more unpredictable and therefore more exciting for us cycling fans to watch. Now, this is the first time that team sizes have been changed, in our reckoning, since 1987, when the Tour de France actually reduced from 10 to 9 rider teams. And apart from us being completely surprised, actually it seems like everybody in the world of cycling was indeed taken aback. Jonathan Vaughters took to Twitter to say this. Now, I don't disagree with the concept of smaller teams, but letting us know after our planning and rosters are well in motion, not considerate.
Meanwhile, Patrick Lefevre, the boss of Ethics Quickstep, not normally someone particularly opinionated about things within the sport, gave an interview to Het Nieuwsblad, a newspaper in Belgium, where he said, "Why should we take on 30 riders per
Sorry,
team?"
hang on, I've got to stop you there. That's not what Patrick Lefevre sounds like.
No, Jonathan Vaughters didn't sound like that either, and I'm really bad at accents.
Well, no,
so are
fair
you,
enough.
but I'm not going to try and emulate a Belgian one. Why should we take on 30 riders per team in 2018? Then you can continue with 5 less riders per team. Then there are 100 additional riders out on the street, plus 25 other support staff, because they're no longer necessary. Always sitting on the fence, Pat, isn't he?
He is, yeah. That was a strangely muted response.
Yeah.
Now, it's not all doom and gloom in the pro peloton, though. Luke Rowe of Team Sky actually was quick to see the positives. He pointed out on Twitter that the 9th seat in the team bus was therefore going to be redundant. So he suggests pull it out and put something cool in its place, like a hot tub or an Xbox.
Well, he is kind of suggesting that whoever they pull out from the team of 9 riders is not cool.
I know, and it will
replace
be
it with
a
something
really tight squeeze in that hot tub.
It
But
would
still,
be.
maybe that's what they like.
The general consensus amongst us here at GCN was that this would be quite a good thing for the sport. There is some evidence out there which does suggest that reduced team sizes does increase the excitement of races. And it doesn't necessarily mean that the best rider isn't going to win either. If we take an example of the 2013 Tour de France, Team Sky successfully brought Chris Froome in the yellow jersey to the Champs-Élysées in Paris, despite losing Vasil Kirienka on stage 9, a man that they say can replicate 2 men out on the road, so that was presumably quite a big loss. To be fair though, it was announced rather late to the teams by the organisers of the races. I mean, it is coming towards December now.
Yeah, that's a valid point. But if you're going to annoy anyone by trying to make racing more unpredictable, it is going to be the teams, the very people that actually can seek to profit from predictable racing because they can then plan for it, a la Team Sky. But anyway, this may all be complete conjecture because just one day later, the UCI stepped in. And
Not that surprising, given that they should be making the rules themselves.
Well, that's it, exactly. Unsurprisingly, they pointed out that no one is allowed to change the rules but them, and this needs to go through the PCC, which is another acronym that we had to look up, and it is called the Professional Cycling Council. Apparently, their last meeting, they discussed this and then put it off for another year. So the UCI have said it is not allowed to happen.
Oh.
Which sets us up for quite a juicy little power struggle, again, in the world of cycling. Our first since 2008.
Yeah, it's been a while. We are due one.
Exactly. So hopefully, one day, everyone in cycling gets on the same page and we actually genuinely move forward. But in the meantime, this could be interesting.
Yeah, move forward in tandem.
Hey!
Well, this was all announced by the organisers on Friday, and Si actually made a Facebook video where he asked for your opinions on the subject, so we'll read a few of the highlights out now. First up, Paul Bailey said that he's glad that something, anything, is being done. Alex Cadogan said that they haven't gone far enough, and he'd like to see 7-man teams racing in Grand Tours. On the other hand, Sue Fortune said that she's worried it might make for more teams with only a single ambition and actually make it less exciting, which is a very valid point.
It is actually a very good point.
Nevertheless, we would love to continue to hear your thoughts, and you can leave them, as ever, in the comment section down below this video. Dom has chosen 2 tweets for us this time around, the first of which comes from Italian professional for the Astana squad, Michele Scarponi. He's back at it with his parrot, or his neighbour's parrot, as you were just explaining to me. Yep. 3 oretti oggi, Frankia, which I think means 3 hours on the bike today, Frankie.
Grande Frankie, dove si va stamattina? Dove sei? Non rompermi il casco. Ma sempre con sto casco, Frankie. Quanto facciamo? 3 orette? Frankie? Oh.
You know, I wonder whether Scarponi's going to have a problem now. Team Astana have changed their kit.
Yeah.
He's not going to match the parrot anymore.
That is true.
Some of the joke's going to go.
It's amazing though, isn't it?
It's Talon's parrot. Apparently, I was reading it's his neighbour's parrot.
Yeah.
It's not his, but still, imagine that. Pretty cool. Right, next up, we've got this tweet from Lucy Martin, who was guest presenting for us last week. You saw and enjoyed her videos. She said this: during today's rainy day with GCN, we found the perfect role for Daniel Lloyd.
Yeah.
I tell you what, mate, that's quite the stance you're pulling there.
Yeah.
That is a strong look. Very strong look.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
It's now time for cycling shorts.
We'll start cycling shorts this week with news of some new cycling shorts and also jerseys, because it's that time of year where more and more World Tour teams are announcing their new team kits for 2017. And it was Dimension Data's first get-together of the year, kind of, even though it's still November, but you know what I mean, in Cape Town in South Africa, and as well as the important task of the riders actually presenting 150 Quebecer bikes to local school children. They also released their new kit, which looks kind of similar to this year, but I think even cooler. So it's got a big broad green stripe across the chest and then one on the sleeve as well.
I like that. As soon as I saw it, I would vote hot if there was a vote going on.
That's a hot.
Yep. Meanwhile, the boys in blue at Astana, or Astana, depending on how you pronounce it, are still the boys in blue, but slightly less turquoise for 2017. It kind of transitions and marinates from turquoise down to black, and the shorts are completely black. And I think that's going to look all right on the bike. Didn't look quite so good on the mannequin.
No, I think the kit is hot, but Astana, when you put helmets on mannequins, can you make sure they're straight? Because that was definitely not. So hot and not from Astana.
You can understand it if Alexander Kristoff rode for them, but he doesn't. They also showed off their brand new bikes, which are going to be provided by Argon 18 in 2017. They are, of course, transitioning over from Specialized.
They are hot.
Also, last but not least, Bahrain Merida gave us a kind of glimpse of their jersey. It was draped over one of their Team Merida bikes by the owner of the team, Princess Nasser. Kind of red, I said that in the rehearsals, didn't I? Prince Nasser, get it right on the third time. Red and gold. Can't really see how it's going to look in the peloton just draped over. I think it might be all right there. I've got a feeling. Okay, changing the subject away from kit, UK-based cyclist Kajsa Thailand has broken the world Guinness record for the amount of distance ridden in 1 year by a female cyclist. She has surpassed the 29,604 miles, I think it was, that was done by Billy Fleming many, many years ago. And of course, she's still got until the end of the year, the 31st of December, to increase that tally, so well done.
Yeah, but perhaps unsurprisingly, measuring and officiating annual distance is a complex beast. So although Thailand actually holds the Guinness World Record, she isn't the absolute record holder, because in America, a woman called Amanda Coker actually surpassed that target in just 130 days of riding. But she is competing underneath Ultramarathon Association rules, which means that she is allowed to draft.
Do you think only behind cyclists or draft behind anything, do you think? Do you think she's going to have a van in front of her for the entire record?
Crikey, man. Imagine the carbon footprint of that.
Yeah. Oh, talking about carbon footprint, there's some good news coming out of India.
What a segue.
Amazing. You might remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about the problems being experienced by the population of New Delhi in terms of the pollution that they're having to deal with over there. But a small piece of good news for the people of India. I know it's a big place and it is only a 207-kilometre cycle superhighway, but nevertheless it's been built and they are claiming it is Asia's first ever cycle superhighway. It goes from Etawah to Agra, and the government are claiming that this is a great way to promote green and environmentally friendly, should I say, cycling and commuting too. And they're trying to encourage extra cyclists onto the bike path by taking off the VAT from both bikes and their components and accessories, which is great news.
That is absolutely brilliant news. A drop in the ocean maybe, but you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, on the flip side of that, there's actually some news out of San Francisco where the tragedy of a couple of cyclists that were killed in a hit-and-run accident in the city sparked the local cycling community into action, and they actually set about creating their own illegal bike lanes by marking them out with cones. But then, the good news is that the local authorities have actually seen the logic to that and are making those unofficial bike lanes official.
That is fantastic.
It is super cool, isn't it?
Yeah, those unofficial ones normally just get swept away, don't they?
Yeah, power to the people. Brilliant.
Brilliant. I'm afraid that we're going to have to end cycling shorts with some rather sad news coming out of Chicago. In the Chicago Tribune, they were reporting that the councillor there, Howard Brookin, was the unfortunate victim of a revenge attack by a squirrel.
Sorry, mate. Oh, what?
Yeah, but a squirrel gave a revenge attack, and Brookin ended up in hospital.
Is it? What happens to a squirrel?
Dead, just gone. I mean, ironically, Brookin was given a speech just a couple of weeks previously complaining and decrying the menacing squirrel population of Chicago. And obviously the squirrels found out about it, and that was the result.
So the squirrel threw itself into Brookin's front wheel and took him off?
Yeah, completely
that's
true.
brutal. Is that our celebrity tenuous cycling segment of the week?
Yeah, I thought you'd be impressed by that.
Well, it is certainly tenuous, perhaps undeniably involving cycling, but that celebrity.
Howard Brookin.
Yeah, sorry, Howard. It's time now for Crimes Against Cycling, where you confess and then are judged by your peers. Last week, we had the sorry tale of Paul the Frame Killer, who accidentally buzzsawed a customer's vintage Bianchi road bike into pieces of scrap metal. You voted in your thousands. Paul, I'm afraid to say, you are overwhelmingly guilty of
Paul.
a crime against cycling.
Yeah, and sentenced to a life behind road bars. Sorry. This week's comes in from a chap named Joshua Lim. Sounds like quite a plausible name for me. It might be his real name.
Ooh, Joshua.
He says that at 13 years old, he was a cocky little kid. Reminds me of someone. Myself. And he had very little knowledge about cycling, or very little experience in cycling too, but he decided to enter his first race in the junior category. But the race was cancelled due to inclement weather. But the race a little bit later on in the day, the fourth and fifth categories, well, that took place. So, making sure that he did what he set out to do and actually do a race that day, he set off in the adult category and then got dropped just a few hundred metres past the start line. He began to feel extremely scared and lightheaded, and his stomach started to grumble after each and every pedal stroke. The race was in a wooded area, so when there was nowhere to be seen by other people, instead of continuing, he hopped off his bike and let all the air out of his front tyre. Oh my God, I can see where this is going. He then walked to the finish line with frustration written all over his face, and a race photographer even took a photo of him and later posted it to social media with the caption, "Mechanicals happen." Everyone felt sorry for him and they told Joshua to try again the week after. Until now, he'd told nobody, not even his parents or close friends, and he did say he felt very ashamed. Unsurprisingly, I think.
Yeah, well, Joshua, you have confessed in the right environment. Now it's time to judge. You can vote just up there. Is he guilty or not guilty of a crime against cycling?
Oh, and don't forget to continue sending in your potential crimes against cycling. In your confessions, we have got another link in the other corner which allows you to do that. It's our favourite time of the week. It's time for hack / bodge of the week, and we're going to kick you off this time with this one from Alex Dugard. Now, his flush is not working on his toilet at home at the moment, so he's come up with this hack / bodge. Apparently he's using a pump to get enough pressure to flush the toilet at the moment.
I have a reasonable knowledge of the workings of toilets, and I don't understand how that works. Yeah, a little bit. But I love the fact that is a very neat looking bodge. Fair play. Definitely a bodge, isn't it? Right, this one is very cool. Sent in by Dave Haygarth. It is his daughter Elsie's, I don't know what you want to call that, roller hack.
Yeah.
Basically, her bike is too short to go on conventional rollers, so he's built a little mount to hold the front forks so she can ride rollers without actually riding rollers. I think that's quite cool. I think it's a hack, that one.
It is very cool indeed. Not as cool as the next one though. I'm going to say that myself now. It comes in from Marie-Céline. A coffee tamper which is made out of 4 bike parts, a broken SRAM red shifter, a cut stem, a stem cap and tube, which is not in view apparently, but look at that.
Oh yes.
Amazing.
That is very cool. If I send you 4 bits of bike, can you make me a coffee tamper? Because genuinely, there is a gap in my life for something like that.
Be a market for that.
That's a cool hack, that one. All right, this next one, I think this is a hack as well, actually. Alistair Shepherd has sent this in, saying that a man in his cycling club, not wanting to drive his car to his local turbo training club evenings, has worked out a way of getting his turbo to the evenings whilst riding. And look, he's still got his mudguard in place. That's pretty cool.
I hope it's not too hilly, that route to the turbo session, because they're quite heavy things, aren't they, turbo trainers?
If he didn't have his mudguard still on, he could have had the resistance on as well. Then it would have made it even harder riding to work. Yeah,
meanwhile, Timsbury Cycle Group sent in this photo. How does a free-to-join cycle group with no money come up with its annual awards? By raiding a bike shop's parts. That's how. That's quite cool. I'd quite like to receive one of those awards and put them on the
What's the Welly Award?
Probably for someone that's done something stupid, I'd imagine. Write in, let us know.
Yeah, what is the Welly Award for and who won it? This next one, can't quite understand what's going on here, but I believe it involves plastic pipe and clamp suspension.
Oh my goodness.
That's in Tokyo, sent in by Sean Gannon. That's a bodge and a half, mate.
Yeah,
and it's a terrifying one at that.
Would not catch me riding that. That doesn't look safe.
No.
Here's a hack. Designated hack by me
Really?
again from RST at Spurious RST. A sort of saddle height jig that fits all of his bikes, whether they're SRAM or Campy cranks. So you can make sure that all of his bikes have exactly the same saddle height.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Does it do layback as well? Because if it does, that would be brilliant.
Potentially, I guess I'm not sure.
Layback's a pain to measure, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's doable, but it is a pain, and that would sort out. This one, well, this is a cracking bodge. Using cutlery. I think that's the first use of cutlery in hack / bodge of the week we've ever had, isn't it? There you go. It's a chain tensioner created with a fork and an old jockey wheel. Not a bad looking fork as well, that. Look, it's got some ornate kind of metal work on the handle there.
Do you think there's enough tension to keep the tension in the chain?
Well, you'd have to crank the quick release down pretty hard, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would.
Nevertheless,
never seen anything like that before.
It's a good bodge.
I have to say. If you've got any more hacks or bodges which you would like us to see and potentially put on next week's GCN show, all you've got to do is upload them to Twitter or Facebook or Instagram with the hashtag GCNHack.
Keep them coming. We love them.
The latest round of the Cyclocross World Cup took place over the weekend in Zeven in Germany. And in the women's event, Sanne Cant proved that Now should we leave that joke? Sanne Cant proved strongest and won the race. Actually, her first.
She can! Yes!
All right. Her first World Cup race, believe it or not, or World Cup victory so far this season. She was pushed very close in the closing stages by Katie Compton, but did have enough to hold on for that first win of the year in the World Cup. Meanwhile, in third place, Alice Arzufi, an Italian rider, and that's her first ever podium placing at a World Cup. So well done to you, Alice.
Yeah, good to see a fresh face up there. The men's event was not won by a fresh face, despite the fact that he's only 21. It was Mathieu van der Poel again, although at least there was an element of intrigue after he suffered a mechanical on the first lap, dropped down to 18th place, and then had to fight his way back up to the head of affairs. He did, it has to be said though, catch arch nemesis Wout van Aert with startling efficiency, and then immediately attacked him to solo to victory by 21 seconds. Van Aert finished second, and then Kevin Powell's really good to see him well up there. He was only just behind Wout van Aert in third.
Loads of comments this week. Our favourite 4 are as follows. First up, from Robin Mules underneath last week's How to Ride Steep Cyclocross Climbs.
Steep climbs are a feature of many cyclocross races, and they're also great fun to try and get up when you're out riding.
I'd like to see a video of top 5 strange things that Tom Last thinks are fun. Very good point. He never looks like he's having fun, does he, when he's climbing?
Right, underneath Lasty's pro bike though, Ricola says, this is the happiest I've seen our boy Lasty. Bless him.
Yeah.
And that's true, that bike. You know he designed it himself.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the colour scheme anyway.
It's my Project One Madone that I designed. I designed the paint job, I chose the components, so I designed the paint job on this.
You learn something new every day, don't you?
It is a beautiful bike, that is.
Underneath how to get more aero on your road bike, Mike Lee says, I was riding in Bath with my friend and I saw Si Richardson. We both fanboyed a lot. He looks even faster in real life. Mike, you need to stop looking at so many slow motion videos of Si Richardson.
You know what, when you read that out, I was like, oh wow, what a lovely comment. And then I looked closer, there's a winky face at the end, which kind of undermines it all.
Of course
so,
there is.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, never mind. Right, and the last one is this one, which was on one of the videos that Lucy Martin was presenting last week. Gary Clulo, among many others, said, loving Lucy on the channel, great addition to the team. And yeah, there was a lot of love for Lucy out there. I will say though, she's not an addition to the team permanently. She was in town to film some more spin videos with us, and we persuaded her to film some more content for you guys as well. So there is a little bit more Lucy still to come, but unfortunately that is it for the moment.
Yeah, we are hoping to do some more though with Lucy in the foreseeable future. She does have other work commitments as well and is based in Girona, but in the long run, who knows if we're nice.
Maybe you should hold a brolly over her head again, mate.
Well, I made every effort. On GCN this week, on Wednesday, we show you how to make every ride epic.
Epic!
And that is, I can assure you, an epic video.
Epically epic.
Yeah. Then on Thursday, we tell you 8 things that cyclists shouldn't do. Another one to look forward to. And on Friday, it's another episode of Ask GC Anything.
Saturday, we've got Giacomo Nizzolo's pro bike. Then on Sunday, Matt and I got very wet and very cold to try to find out, using science, just how much of an effect using mudguards really has.
Or fenders, for those of you over in the US.
Indeed. And on Monday, we've got another Maintenance Monday video.
And then Tuesday...
From West Jakarta of Indonesia, welcome to the GCN show.
We shall leave you as ever with Extreme Corner.
Yeah.
This week it's a man named Fabio Vibner. He does some incredible, awesome and unbelievable tricks on a shopping bike. So it's not actually mountain biking.
That is cool. I love that.
Yeah, you wouldn't catch me doing that on a full-blown mountain bike, let alone on a shopping bike.
What do you mean you wouldn't do a backflip on a mountain bike?
Oh, okay,
Come
maybe
on,
I would.
Lordy.
Yeah, probably
Come
would.
on. Yeah.
I know, I sometimes I'm a bit short in my own expectations.
That's right, you undersell yourself, mate. Right then, if you have been sat here watching this, thinking that we both look like a pair of puddings, Christmas puddings in fact, and you want a piece of it, then head over to shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com because these bad boys are now for sale.
Yeah.
The perfect Christmas jumper
Get
for
in
a
now,
cycling fan.
if you want them before Christmas. Okay, if you haven't yet subscribed to the Global Cycling Network, that is absolutely free to do, and all you've got to do is to click on the globe. Now, some more content for you to watch if you haven't already seen it. In the top corner up there, Matt shows you 7 magnificent ways to dismount your bike.
Yeah, or something we've dragged up from the archives, thinking about things the UCI may or may not allow. Down there is the top 10 things that the UCI have actually banned.
And if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up down below. Cheers.